What's going on, everyone? It's me, Jared, is back with a live video for you. Can you hear me or not? If you can't hear me, no use in doing the stream. So just tell me if you can hear me. Somebody in the chat say you can hear me. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I am just driving, and I figured you guys could help me stay awake. And I got some things on my mind anyway, so talk about those. That is the current plan. And you can watch the driving, and I don't know if you can see the moon. The moon is over there in the upper left, a bottom crescent. And the phone is probably too far away for me to see the chat. I can see some, I see Roger from Poland. I can see the chat a little bit. But basically just wanted to talk about some things. So I'm driving on my way home from Fresno, Madera area. Not sure if everyone heard the story. No, I'm probably rolling up the window well. 1 second. This window roll up. There we go. And go. And maybe you can hear me better. So not sure if you heard the story. Many of you probably don't care. Of what's been going on in our lives, but if you want to listen to that, you can check out Monday Night Raw from this past Monday. It's still free and will be free for the next 2-3 days until we go live again on Monday. So you can check that show out during the it was an interesting show overall. If any of you got a chance to hear it, the last hour we kind of detailed some of the stuff that's been going on with our search for a home. And in the first hour, it got real interesting. Many of you have heard of Brooks Agnew. He was the head of an expedition, supposedly was going to try to go to the North Pole. Never came to fruition. He is a proponent of the hollow earth theory. And I heard that he was co-hosting the show before mine for the past couple weeks. And so I thought I would ask him on. I figured he was a anti-NASA kind of guy. Anybody who believes in the hollow earth, I'm assuming, accepts the lies that run NASA. But it went interesting. Yeah, definitely tell you to check out that show. By the way, this stream won't be very long. I can only go as long as until I hit the Chaco Pass, is what it's called. The 156 is going to take me up the hills, and then even though I'm getting closer to satellites, I will lose connection definitely going through those mountains. So probably about 30 minutes from now or so. But yeah, Brooks Agnew came on the show, started talking about satellites, started talking about Mars, started talking about orbits. So real quickly, the show was interesting. So again, go to tfrlive.com and go to On Demand, find the Jeranism Raw page, and you can listen to that show in its entirety. The first hour is Brooks Agnew and myself having a conversation. It went into moon landing and everything else, and even though the guy's got a PhD and is far more versed in space than I, there were some things that stuck out to me about that conversation. Again, check it out in its entirety, but one of those things was, in the conversation, I was asking him about the North and South Pole and why are those two locations vastly different, with one of them being a on-again, off-again yearly melting cycle, that is the North Pole, the other one being a perpetual abyss, a perpetual, what was that? I don't know. A perpetual abyss, a kind of never-ending frozen tundra. And his excuse for that was, well, of course, the sun is very much closer to the north during their summer than it is to the south. And I said, no, Brooks, it's the other way around. It's actually closer to the south than it is to the north, which is why I'm asking the question. His answer to that was, oh yeah, that's what I meant. Which, of course, makes no sense, because then it defeats his argument. So there was a few of those. Tried to get him to hopefully contact me with some of these things that he says exists. He says he's got access to some robot of some type that's on Mars, that he can just flip the switch on and he can observe the stars from Mars. It's got some camera on it or something. So I told him, well, find out how I can see that. I don't need to go there. You can show a camera shot of it. Just show me what you're talking about. But it's an interesting conversation, to say the least. He also talks about knowing that the Earth is curved because he saw some tube that stretches for 4 kilometers, and the tube starts out at ground level, and after 4 kilometers is 36 feet high, which makes absolutely no sense. I thought about it the other day, and I realized what I think he was trying to say, but it actually proves that he's never seen it. I think he was trying to say, because at 2 miles would be 32 inches. So I think he was trying to say 32 inches, but he made it sound like he sees some tube after 4 kilometers that is 36 feet high. So these are the kind of things I'm talking about with PhD scientists that just don't know their stuff. And I understand his position, or many people's positions that may be in the science field, that see me, what's this punk kid got to say? He's going to tell me I've been lied to. I would understand. If I put in years of graduate school and all that to have some kid tell me I'm full of it, well, I probably wouldn't listen to them either. But you kind of have to plant these seeds, slowly start to get into their heads so that they start looking into these things. He does have the same question when it came to the moon landings. Obviously, he believes we went. How any rational human being can believe that, I'll never know. It simply comes down to the industry that you're in and the friends that you keep. Because if you do any of your own research or your own, and that's the great thing about being human, right? You're able to look at evidence and make your own conclusion. People who think we went to the moon simply have jumped that step. They have not decided to do their own research. They simply are going to believe what they're told, and well, then you're going to believe that we went to the moon. So we talked about that a little bit, but he also agrees that it makes absolutely no sense that it's been 50 years. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about real quick. And again, yeah, check out that Jeranism Raw. It's a good show. Second half, we kind of talk a little bit of the curvature formula, a little bit about my 0.318, and how I think that that has been used against us or has been hidden from us. And then also the last hour, we kind of talk about our current situation, what's going on. Today I just got home from, or I'm getting home, driving home, from checking out 4 different places. 2 in Madera, 1 in Fresno, 1 in Clovis. And you'll hear my whole story about that. I mean, basically what it comes down to is when you remove yourself from the system, like I have attempted to do, you will get burned for it. And we're finding out the hard way. So far, we've been turned down from 5 potential rental places. We've had to apply to each of them, which costs anywhere from, the cheapest was $30 for Miss and I to apply, the most expensive being $40 each, which was $80. And we just keep getting turned down. The reason we're turned down is, of course, we have the number 1, the foreclosure on my house in 2015, which obviously helps no one. But the other reason is because we've gotten rid of all of our credit cards. So we have no credit cards, we've got no vehicle debt, we've got no car payments. And those things are looked at as a negative in this world because that means we can't get our credit score back up. I have no means, no desire to get it back up. I know what a credit card, what a credit score is. Your credit score is how gullible are you? How willing are you to pay more than something's worth? Because if you buy it with cash and it costs 40 bucks, you pay 40 bucks. You buy it with a credit card and you pay 80 bucks, 100 bucks, 120 bucks, and you pay it off over years, and that's how they trap you in the debt system. So by removing all my credit cards and by removing all my car payments, I have absolutely no credit to speak of. Despite for 2 years, we've paid $1,800 a month for the place we live. We've never been a day late, never been a dollar short. But that doesn't go anywhere when looking for a place because they're looking at your credit score, and obviously they could care less what I've done for the last 2 years. Pretty upsetting. I mean, the place we got turned down the other day was $1,200 a month in rent, $600 less than we've been paying for 2 years. So to get turned down for that is a slap in the face. Pretty disheartening. I don't know what else to say. It's upsetting. We are what is today? 19th? Jeez. We are 6 days away from being out of the house that we're in now and nowhere to go. So I just got done paying $250 today to apply at 4 more houses. So if you could give us your good vibes, your good thoughts at getting accepted at one of these 4 places. We tried on Monday night to ask for people to put good thoughts, because there was a place that Miss and I, you know, I don't want to think about it anymore, but we fell in love with it, and that's our mistake. Fell in love with the place, $1,400 a month, $400 less than we're paying. And these places are all, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole idea of them being scams, but you know, they accept these applications from 5, 6, 7 different people, and they charge the money for each one, and then they just call you and tell you, sorry, pick somebody else. Despite us trying to say, please call our landlord, they'll tell you how great we've been for 2 years, no late payments, and these people just dismiss you. The personal touch is gone. It doesn't matter how much we try and say that we, you know, there was one place that was only, I think, $1,300 a month that said that we didn't make enough. They wanted 3 times the monthly rent, and we said, we don't have any credit card bills, we don't have any car bills. Why do we need 3 times that amount? You know, I think it was $1,300, so you figure, what's that, $3,900 you need? You know, I don't make $3,900, and I don't need to make $3,900 to afford $1,300. But obviously, like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I have no credit card bills. So anyway, send your good vibes towards Miss and I. I'm not completely defeated yet. It's just upsetting. What else can you say? The way this world is stacked against anyone who wants to think for themselves, that wants to, you know, live a life on their own, make their own money. If you don't have credit card debt, you don't have a credit score, you don't have an auto car mint, then these people want nothing to do with you. They want people that are used to owing money and spending money, and it's not me. So anyway, keep your good wishes towards us. We could use it in these comings. And if you want more details on exactly what happened with our house and what happened after that, and how we got stuck in the foreclosure and the reason for all that, we talk about it on Raw. Again, it's free for the next 3 nights, tfrlive.com. So getting back to what's going on with Flat Earth, and you know, I was just thinking about that today and where we stand, and I feel like we got one good thing going for us, one really good thing going for us, and one really bad thing going for any globe believer, and that is the idea of proof. Because my question comes down to, what will it take for a globe believer to finally admit that they've been lied to? You know, we got an exciting if you want to call it that, coming year, 2, 3, 5, where we've got space agencies that have made some pretty hefty claims. And I promise you, I'll give you my word, that none of it will happen. And if it does happen, it will be completely and totally faked. No doubt in my mind. You don't wait 50 years to go back to the moon. The simple fact is, you can't go to the moon. What year was it? 1975? We sent a probe to Venus. Ha! Probe to Venus. I mean, and people believe this shit. 1975, you sent a probe to Venus. Then by now, we should be having hotels in orbit of Jupiter. Think about how technology moves along. Think about how cheap things get. I mean, in 1970 or 75 or 80, you had to ship a 8 megabyte computer storage device on a plane because they were about the size of a car. And now you can stick 2 terabyte stick in your pocket. This is how technology is moving in every other area of life, except where? Except the space industry. That's where they keep stealing your money. They keep gouging you. Yeah, it's not just the United States. It's every country that has a space program. They're all liars, and that's easy to see. All you need to do is be able to accept the fact that you've been lied to, look for the evidence, and you can't help but see that you've been lied to and that you've been fooled and that these guys are taking you for one. Listen to the Jay-Z song. What was it? I just heard it the other day. I can't remember the name of it. Could be The Devil Is a Lie. Not sure. The beginning of the song, maybe somebody can help me out in the chat. The beginning of the song, the first couple lyrics start out, you know, I bet you these people think this is from outer space. The guy starts laughing and he says, yeah, but we making money and these masterminds, and there's other, I mean, it's just in everything that they're flat out saying. They tell you don't watch who you're messing with. You're messing with people with money, and that's what this all is about. You know, the other day I was thinking, could this be as simple as half the world knows that space is fake, the other half doesn't, and that's the trick? Are you somebody who's going to take advantage of that and fool people with this whole space idea and fool people with this religion idea? Start your little Christian church and sucker people in to donate money so that you can build bigger churches and you can convert more people to the love of Christ and make people think all this nonsense. Is that what it comes down to? Is either you're a dickhead, dirtbag, as a flat earth asshole would say, you know, or Jake the asshole, you know, go around and be proud of that. I wouldn't be proud if I'm an asshole. I would think that's pretty dirtbag. What do you want to be an asshole for? I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to live with an asshole. I don't want to be friends with an asshole. Just don't. It's just me. And cover that real quick. Can't think of the name of the channel right now, but somebody the other night had a great comment just about, you know, Jake and his nonsense, thinking he's debunked the coffee cup caustic because we don't live in a coffee mug, thinking he debunked the half dome magnifying glass because we don't live in glass. So where was Jake when he was shooting BBs at an apple? Where was Jake when he was telling us that these BBs are being shot? Was anybody out there saying, Jake, we don't live where the moon's not an apple? Jake, the moon's not being hit by BBs, Jake. Jake, you can't say that the moon is an apple. There's no apple in the sky. No, nobody was saying that because people have half a brain and they understand what that means when Jake's showing an apple, shooting it with a BB gun out in a dirt field. Nobody thinks that means that the moon is an apple. We understand analogies, examples, little experiments. But when somebody brings out the half dome, here comes the asshole to say we don't live in glass, we don't breathe glass, we don't live in a coffee cup. What a joke. What a total joke. So, where am I at here? Okay, let's stop the stop sign. Okay. Where am I? Oh, yeah. So anyway, back to what I was saying, and I'm not going to be able to get much further before this will die. But that's what I wanted to really focus on, is just this idea of evidence and proof that Elon Musk says he's going to send 2 people around the moon in 2018. For those of you keeping score at home, how many people has Elon Musk put in orbit? How many people has Elon Musk put in orbit of the Earth? And this jackass, clown, liar, charlatan, by the way, hashtag, if you're ever going to hashtag Elon Musk, add an F and at the beginning and a Y at the end of his name. Hashtag felony Musk, because that's what he deserves, is an F in the beginning of his name and a Y at the end. He is hashtag felony, what he deserves. So how do you claim that you're going to send people in orbit of the moon? Don't you take baby steps? Don't you think you should probably send people in orbit of the Earth first? Nope, not Elon Musk. Nope, he's already talking about, we're just going to dig tunnels all through the bottom of LA. Put Hyperloop trains everywhere. What are you guys thinking? This is easy stuff. You just bore holes through the bottom. You have unlimited funds. You're Elon Musk. You started PayPal, you know. You got lucky. You almost went broke. And then you got lucky for doing what? You started a bank. So Elon Musk is just part of the whole group of liars and thieves and clowns that will continue to push lies as long as it makes them money. And believe me, SpaceX is making plenty of money. So he's going to put people in orbit of the moon this year, 2018. Don't let him get away with that, because guess what? The Globers will. The Globers will blow him if he says he'll do it in 2019. Oh, Elon, 2019. Oh. And then Elon will say in 2019 he's going to do something in 2000. He's going to go to Jupiter in 2020. Oh, Elon, Jupiter 2020. And what will it take? When will people wake up? How long do you need to be told lies until you realize that they're lies? How long does somebody need to tell you that they're going to go to the moon until you realize nobody's going to the moon? Nobody can go to the moon. Think about the fact we went there in '69. You're telling me in 50 years, China, Japan, Russia, none of these countries thought, nah, maybe we should beat the United States and get there first, build a colony. Maybe we should go build a moon base. Maybe we should start mining helium-3 and helium-4 off the moon. Since the United States isn't doing it, should be easy now. Look at technology. Oh, but sorry, you know, we used to have that technology, but we lost it, and it's too expensive to get it back. Because that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. You don't lose technology. It's not expensive to get technology back. You can do it if you have done it 50 years ago. But no, people will continue to believe people can go to the moon. I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable. And that's the one thing that Flat Earth has going for it, because what they don't have going for it is the fact that it doesn't matter what you say or try and prove, no Glober is going to believe you. It doesn't matter what you tell anybody, what you show anybody. They have set it up in a way that you can. How can you prove the moon landings didn't happen? NASA say they did. So it doesn't matter what possible evidence you come up with, it will be, and has been, pretty much debunked or taken care of. It's been taken out of the equation. I talked about the other night that saw a video on allus.com where somebody shows the flag blowing after the astronauts are sitting in the LEM. You can see the flag appear on the screen, the edge of it, disappear, appear, disappear. But if you go to the ALS journal, the Apollo Surface Journal, which all the pictures is on there and all the videos, that video has been cropped so that the image of the flag no longer blows on that video. So you've got the video from allus.com, but besides that, NASA can clean up its mistakes and nobody says a word. Just like we've all seen the box around the Earth in the pictures they've taken from Apollo. A day later, after Rob Skiba brings it up, NASA fixes that image. So they've got a team that is there to fix any of their mistakes. Anybody who thinks spacewalks are live, you are joking yourself. You are an idiot and a fool. Go look at any spacewalk. Why don't they show the Earth? Oh, we're here for an 8-hour spacewalk, and we're not going to show the Earth for 8 hours, because if we did, you'd be able to see that this isn't live. And we have to edit out the scuba divers. Or whatever else we're using. The ropes and the chains and the... Yeah. If you can't figure these things out, I'm not gonna help you. I can't help you. I've tried. People don't want to hear it. They think space is real. So my question then becomes, since I can't prove space is fake, what can I do? I can't go out there. I can't go measure Saturn. Can't show you that it's not 100 times bigger than the Earth or 10 times bigger than the Earth. I can't show you that Jupiter doesn't matter for shit because it's a gas planet. I can't show you that. But what I can do is tell you nobody is going anywhere. You will never see somebody walk on the moon. You will never see somebody in orbit of the moon. You will never see somebody living on Mars. And if you do, it'll be a blatant fabrication, and one that you should be able to admit and be able to notice easily. And that's why they haven't gone. That's why, because they're scared shitless of how they're going to fake this. So tell me this, when we take this little rocket ship that's going to go in orbit of the moon supposedly this year, remember, hold them to that, 2018. When we do this, are we going to have a camera in the craft at all times showing these people floating? Or will there be a camera out the window so that we can watch the stars and space? Well, wait a second, is there stars in space? I don't know. You tell me. Why is it we've got some astronauts saying that on the day side of Earth you can see all the stars because you're not being blocked by the atmosphere? We've got other astronauts that say on the day side of Earth you can see no stars. You see the pitchest black of night. Does anybody care when the only people who have ever been to space can't even get their stories straight? Nope, they don't care. Nope. Let's keep backing Red's rhetoric and Sean Hufford and Soundly and all these nonsense globeheads who will believe it no matter what. Who will believe in space and space travel no matter what. It could be 20 years from now. They'll still believe in it. It doesn't matter if they don't go. Well, it's really hard to go. You know, it's been 70 years since we went to the moon, but it's hard. Space is hard. Yeah, because everything is that hard. Tell them, I mean, we should have hotels in orbit of Saturn. That's how much technology moves along. If we could fly to the moon in 1969 with the memory power of a Game Boy, then you can go to Saturn and set up orbiting hotels easily. You know, the whole thing makes no sense. What do we care about gas planets anyway? Oh, it's a gas giant. Good for it. I really love to see giant gas balls in space. That really makes sense. That's cool. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Wow, Jupiter. Wow, cool. Can we ever go there? No? Does it serve my purpose at all? Anything about it? And no? Does it have any use at all? No? That's good. Let's pump some more billions of dollars to send some more stupid spacecraft lies. Let's go orbit Jupiter. Let's go. This is great for humanity. Look at what we're doing. Oh, those kids in Africa? Let them starve. Who cares? They obviously don't have the right way to farm, but we have more important things to do, like put a craft in orbit of a gas planet. Makes a lot of sense. Why doesn't Jupiter attract matter? What happens to when did Earth say, okay, I'm going to be rocky planet number 1, and you know, Mars, you could gather some rock over there too, but Jupiter, no, you don't get to gather any rock. You gather gas. Okay, you're the gas gravity. We'll be matter gravity. Okay, and we'll attract all, and we won't attract the gas, we'll just attract the matter. Jupiter, you attract the gas. Saturn, you attract the gas, and you get some rings of rocks, and this all makes sense because some men told you. Because Arthur C. Clarke made up some bullshit. Because Freemasons think it's funny to lie to people. That's why. And why wouldn't they? They make money off of it. And you give them money. People just fork money over like crazy. You believe in space, and they will fork money over to you like crazy. So that's what it comes down to. I mean, if I was a terrible person, I would get into reporting space. That's where the money is. Well, let's report space, everybody. Let's talk about space. Let's report on what's going on with the Falcon 9 Heavy. Let's report on their missing satellites. That's where the money is. Of course it would be. That's what they want. Keep feeding people bullshit so that they don't know where they live. They don't know what they're doing here. They don't know why they're here. And again, comes back to the same thing as I said before. When will it be enough for you? When will you finally say, all right, now I think they're lying to me? What will it take? When Elon Musk doesn't go to the moon in 2018? When they can't show us a camera? I mean, what they're going to do is they're going to launch his little car, because they got the rocket launches down, right? They got that down. That's easy. That's easy to do. They can definitely launch these helium balloons up in the sky, and they can convince everybody on the ground that they launched a rocket to space, even though you can clearly see the change in the camera. There he goes, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up. Now we switch camera view to that picture of the red glowing cone. Now we're in space. Sure you are. Sure you're in space. Yep, I believe it. And we no longer get to see the Earth, so you can't verify that anything's live. Yep. How would you ever deny that? They're definitely in space. So here's the problem. Again, when are you going to admit that it's never going to happen? You know, they're going to show their rocket takeoff with this Tesla Roadster car in it, and it's going to get out to space, and they're going to show you the orange cone, and they're going to say, well, we've got a 4-month journey to Mars now. We'll tune back in 4 months. And then 4 months later, they'll show you another little view of the orange cone, and instead of the Earth as the background, they'll put it with a little red tint. That'll be Mars. And all of you pansy fanboys will worship Elon Musk. Oh, he got his car to Mars. How could this be faked? It'd be impossible to fake this. They couldn't just put this nose cone thing in a warehouse and show some round red ball. That would be impossible. Why would they lie to you? Why would they lie to us? I don't know. I can think of about 10 million reasons. I can think about 10 million reasons, especially because you'll believe it. That's all it takes. Why would somebody lie to you? Because you'll believe it. If they're gonna get away with stealing, what do we have? 5 point something trillion dollars. stolen from people with this space lie. No, they just are going to keep doing it until people call them out for it. But everybody wants to believe it. Everybody loves it. Loves space. Loves Star Wars. Loves Star Trek. Everything else they put in your face to sell you a false reality rather than just face up to the facts. You can't leave here. Tough one, huh? Yep, because once you get to space, or what you might call space, I don't even think it's a vacuum. I think what's up there is just the absence of all particles, absence of all molecules. And when you get there, you're not steering a craft. That's for damn sure. You can pretend all you want that you're NASA and, oh, well, we bring up our oxygen and then we create combustion inside the rocket and then we, sure you do. Sure you do. Yeah, good luck steering a craft in space. Sorry, ain't gonna happen. You have nowhere to go. You've got no directions. You have no coordinate system. You're done. There's nowhere to go. No one's. If anyone's ever been there, they've died. That's the fact of the matter. Can you guys see the moon over there? No, the moon's doing something weird. Just to see what turn it. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see it. Anyway, moon looks like it's getting like the crescent was bigger before. Interesting. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna get to this next place here. Getting close to the hill here, so I'm gonna lose you in a second. But again, I don't know how to tell you guys any more than, if you're a globe believer, really think to yourself, at what point will you call it out? I mean, at what point, and it sucks for you. It sucks for you because you've got to admit that the people you have called idiots for 3 years were right. You've got to admit that we were right about space travel being fake. Is that the pill I want to swallow is for them to show me. Go to the moon. Go land on the moon. Take a 24/7 video camera. Go show me you be on the moon. We don't have a 24/7 video camera of the Earth from space. Think about that. Think about that. 19 years, you have a craft in orbit of the Earth. It goes around the Earth every 90 minutes. There is not a 24/7 video feed of the Earth from space. That is a slap in the face to every single human being on Earth. We're the ones that pay for every NASA rocket, for every NASA satellite, for every NASA employee, for every piece of land they buy, for the vehicle assembly building. That's our tax money. So the very first thing you should do, if you're NASA, is to satisfy the people paying for your operation. Maybe give them a 24/7 view of where they live. Why not that? Guess what? There isn't one. And to everybody who puts comments in the comment section or a link to some stupid YouTube channel that's got a 15-minute link or a 15-minute loop video that people think is 24/7 video camera. If you don't understand what 24/7 video means, it means a video camera that's on for 24 hours, 7 days a week, recording. That's what 24/7 means. It does not mean a video camera on a craft that records for 30 minutes and then shuts down for 30 minutes because they're on the dark side of the Earth. Dark side of the Earth, guys. Satellites, obviously, those are too difficult for us to bounce signals off of, I guess. So we can't even show you a 24/7 video feed of the Earth of where you live. But do Globers care? Not at all. They've got more important things to do than do what you want. Oh, because they've done a lot in 19 years. Oh boy. Think of everybody. Think of everything you have right now that we have NASA to thank for. Uh-oh. That's a big fat nothing. What do we have NASA to thank for? Teflon? That would have never been invented, I guess. Huh? The microwave never would have invented that. Nope. We would just be cooking our frozen pizzas over fire, I guess, if it wasn't for NASA and the microwave. No, they've done absolutely nothing but steal your money. They've got liars pretending to be in orbit, pretending to be smart, the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying something. They can't speak any better than I can. I certainly don't say that I speak well. I'll admit I'm an idiot. You don't see me up trying to pretend like I'm an astronaut and that I'm smart enough to be speaking. I can barely talk to these 10-year-olds without my pre-written and pre-designed questions and answers. Such a joke. Total, complete joke. And yet, what's it going to take? When will you admit it? When will you get it through your head that there is no space travel? What will it take? Because you know what's coming next, just more of these robotic missions, because they can feed you your CGI, and you have no choice but to believe it, or else be man enough to stand up, take the abuse. It's not easy. You think it's easy being somebody like the bunch of us that have stood out and said that space is fake? You think that's easy? You think it's fun to be somebody telling somebody that their dreams about space and all this stuff is fake? It's not easy. It's impossible. Nobody wants to hear what you've got to say. It doesn't matter that what we're doing, it's not like I'm doing what I'm doing for myself. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and make money. I'm going to do this and live the good life now that I've told everybody that. No, I'm doing it for humanity. Are these people turning? Can you use your blinker, for God's sakes? Jeez. You know, I'm doing this for everybody. That's the sad thing. All the people that hate me, the people that are probably so happy, oh, Jaron can't find a place to live. Ha ha ha. Funny, why don't you get a job, loser? All those people, I'm doing this for them. Just as equally as I'm doing it for everybody. It's not like I say, oh, I only want to tell this group of people that space is fake. I don't want to tell these other people. Screw them. No, I'm telling everybody, because everybody deserves to know that we were sat in classrooms, in school desks, and blatantly lied to. And it's become obvious. You know, I'm mad at myself. I didn't see it 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But it is what it is. And at this point, if people can't see that this is all a fraud, then I want to just know how long till you know. I can wait. I can wait. I don't think I'm dying in the next 10, 20 years. Might, but I don't think I'm going to. So my question becomes, when will it be enough for you? What will it take? What if we don't go to Mars or the moon in the next 3 years? Then will you start to wake up? What if it takes 4 years, 5 years, 8 years? How long? I really want to know. Tell me. Because I want to be there. I want to be there for you to see it. I want to be there and watch you realize and come to the conclusion that space is fake. But the sad thing is, when you're Red's Rhetoric, when you're Sean Hufford, when you're Soundly, when you're Slice Barkane, when you're these guys who have made fun of and made derogatory comments towards every person trying to tell you that space is fake, the truth of the matter is, you will never admit it. You will never, ever admit that you were wrong. You've put yourself in that position. I can admit I'm wrong. I've never said that those guys are idiots or dumb. I've simply said that they've been fooled, and that is the truth. And then everything else I've said about them, that they're liars, that they're fanboys, those things are true. So I have no problem. You know, I can easily admit, oh, I was wrong about space. They finally went to the moon 50 years later. Oh, there we go. Now we're traveling in space to Mars. But I'm smarter than that. I'm smart enough to recognize how long it would take before we actually did these things that they say we're going to do after we went there in 69. I don't know. Maybe 1980, we finally put some bases on the moon. 1990, you start shuttling people there and back. 2000, you've got some hotels in orbit. 2010, you've got gymnasiums in orbit. You've got auditoriums in orbit. It's not, what's difficult about it? Obviously the ISS taught us, you just take up pieces and you go and put them together in space and they orbit the Earth. Simple. It's not even hard. It doesn't even matter what configuration you put them in, because there's no surface drag, there's no drag. You're in the vacuum of space. And we just shuttle people up there, connect them with the docking. It's easy. You ever seen a bad docking before? You ever seen somebody die in space? Nope. So if nobody dies in space, what the hell is so difficult? I mean, what is so hard? You know how many people had to die to get the airplane up? You know how many people had to die to build tunnels? The tunnel that they just built in Switzerland, like 18 people died building a tunnel. I mean, look how many people died building the Golden Gate Bridge. How many people have died in space? Womp, 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 womp. 0. Now you can call Challenger, you can call Columbia, you can call the Volstat or whatever that one is that 3 Russians died. Call that if you want. deaths in space, but it wasn't in space. And again, if it's so easy, then we should be doing it all the time. But it's so easy that it costs the United States $88 million a seat to fly our astronauts to the ISS. Think of that money. $88 million. Think about NASA getting $52 million a day. How about this, NASA? Take 1 million of that 52 million. All right, so we got 1 million from one day. That's 1/52nd of one day. Take that $1 million and buy 200, or is it 2,000? I don't even, buy 2,000 GoPro cameras. And just litter the hell out of your rockets with one of those. Why can we never see you look out the window when you're taking off from a rocket, from a shuttle? Just put a GoPro right to the window. Just show you going to, with no cuts, you could just keep that camera. Nope, they won't show that. Because they don't have to. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, why would they if you allow them not to? There's no reason. They've got no reason to prove a thing to you because you believe it no matter what. So when Musk doesn't send anybody to the moon, when nobody from NASA or JAXA, you want to see a funny one, go look at the Chang 3 or whatever that Chinese lander is. If you look, I wish I could show you, but there's a page that has all the pictures taken from this stupid lander. So fake. Not one picture of the Earth. Can you imagine? You send a little robot there who has this HD camera on its back, but don't take any pictures of the Earth. Don't take any pictures of the Earth. Just take pictures of the ground and your little tracks, and make sure you take hundreds of them that look completely and totally fake. So my question is to Globers again: what will it take? What will it take? Will it take Richard Branson putting up his little craft a few more times? The guy sent up 4 crafts, killed 4 people. Okay, so you think maybe space isn't all you were taught? But yeah, Richard Branson can't get to space. Blue Origin can't get to space. They can show you CGI movies. Oh, here's our Luke Skywalker dummy in a capsule in space floating around. Yep, yeah, you can show that. But that should be done in 1974. Should have been done in 1984. Should have been done in 1994. Okay, but no, we still gotta charge people $350 million to put up a satellite for DirecTV when we know already you can put up balloons with 8,000-pound satellites attached to them. You can put those up for a year at a time, and guess what that costs? I don't know, $100,000? That's a hugely inflated amount. You know, think of how much it would cost. You need some helium, you need some canisters of hydrogen and helium, and you need a computer program that keeps the balloon where you want it. And yet we still charge $350 million to put up a satellite for DirecTV. So think of all the satellites, Globers, that have gone up in the last 10 years. What has that done for you? Do you still have DirecTV? I had DirecTV 10 years ago. Channels haven't changed. Satellite radio? Nobody even uses it. Nope. It's not even satellite radio. They admitted that. It's from ground stations. So what has satellites done for you? GPS, any different than it was 10 years ago? About the same. So what of all these satellite launches, all these secret launches by SpaceX, and all the Iridium class satellites that have been put up there, and what are they all doing for you? Nothing. They're to feed your little fantasy lives and to steal money from the population. That's what it's for. And until I'm proven wrong, well, hate to tell you that every day that goes by, I'm being proven right. That's what's happening. Every single day, I'm getting proven right. When we don't go to the moon, when we have no plans to go to the moon, when we get canceled, when we had plans to go to the moon, when they tell us that they're growing, oh, we're growing lettuce on the space station? For the 15th time? Okay, let me just tell you, NASA, right now, it's possible to grow lettuce in low Earth orbit. Okay, so now that's done. So what the hell else are you doing? What other tests and experiments are you doing? What else are you figuring out? The other day I saw him say, oh, we're doing a test to figure out the effects of low Earth orbit on the eyes of a human. Oh, 19 years later? 19 years after you've been in orbit of the Earth, now you're testing the effects of zero gravity on the eyes of humans. Who believes this? I'll tell you who. Globers. Doesn't matter what NASA says. Globers believe it. As I said before, NASA could tell you tomorrow that human beings are actually dogs, and you watch the amount of people that show up at Petco to purchase dog food, standing in line. I had no idea. I thought it was a human. I guess we're dogs. All right, you getting dinner too? Yep. All right. Whatever NASA says, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Whatever NASA says, you no longer have the ability to think for yourself. It's a sad state of affairs when you look at it and you realize these people can't think for themselves. And it doesn't even help when you've got people right there telling them what to look at. Look at the moon landing footage. Look at the Apollo-Soyuz footage. Look at the Japan footage. Look at spacewalks. Look at the EVAs when they're on the way back from the moon, when these guys are having to go outside of the spaceship. What did you decompress? What are you decompressing? Where's the chamber that you have to go in? They're just popping out of the craft. Open the hatch and here we are. We're all in our spacesuits. Oh, so everybody put on their spacesuits so that one guy could go outside to retrieve the film canister. Is that what you think? I mean, you cannot think for yourself if you think the ISS. Think about this. Why would you send people outside of the space station? Why? Who is the engineer responsible for putting things that need to be repaired on the outside of the space station? You know why they do that? To feed your space fantasy. To make you think that people are out walking, they're spacewalking. Look at them, they're repairing these cords. Go watch a spacewalk, I dare you. Go watch a spacewalk, sit there and look at what these guys do for 7 hours. They don't do a thing. They move their carabiner clips around. Move it over here, move it over here. They maybe will pull out a space drill and unscrew something. Maybe. What engineer would create the ISS that way? In their right mind. Why not build a hole? Okay, and then you have your access panel to where from the inside you can get to the access panel and everything you need to fix is in that room. Well, why wouldn't you make it like that? Why would you put people's lives on the line once a month to go out and spacewalk? Think of everything that goes into a spacewalk. You got a team of 30 people in this command center that are all got to be in communication with these. You got to get them all geared up. They got to pre-breathe for 6 hours. They got to go in the decompression chamber. They got to have 10 people there. It's this huge production. Then they go out there and we can't even see the Earth. 7-hour spacewalk. Oh, did you expect to see the Earth? Sorry, can't do that. That would prove that it wasn't live. Nothing that they do is live. Nothing. It's all post-processed nonsense. But nobody can see it. And they'll just keep letting them get away with it. And that is disheartening. If you are a human being that cares about the human race, what a setback NASA has been. What a setback science has been. No, not the science, applicable science, not the actual science that is tangible, the science that great scientists and great engineers are a part of every day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the scientific enterprise that continues the lie simply because they got some shit wrong. Oh well, science, that's the great thing about science, is that even when you're wrong, you admit it, you clean it up, you fix it, you get closer to the truth. Nope, not these guys. They were wrong about the shape of the planet. They were wrong about space travel. They were wrong about planets. And they were wrong about stars. But they got to keep that lie going. They got to keep people believing in this otherworldly idea and not recognizing that this is the place we live. This is the place, if you want to say we evolved, this is the place we evolved to live. Nobody in their right mind wants to go to Mars. If you want to go to Mars, get the hell off Earth, you're done. If you want to go somewhere where you can't eat and you can't drink and you can't live, you just got to wear a spacesuit and eat potatoes, hang out with Matt Damon, enjoy yourselves. Get the hell off the Earth because you don't realize what's important and what's, what we should be worried about. Nope, you want to worry about what's in orbit. If I hear one more person say, oh, look at It's so cool to be in orbit. Look at these astronauts in the space station. It's so cool. Yeah, it's real cool. Real freaking cool to lie to humanity on behalf of your, Freemasonic brothers. That's real cool. It's not cool to me. It's a deception. It's a lie. And again, I'll look in the comments when I get home. I want to see Globers tell me when will you admit it? Or if the answer is never, then I want to know that. Is there nothing that will ever change your mind? Is there no proof that will ever suffice you? And they could say, well, what would suffice you, Jared? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a 24/7 view of the Earth that I could verify. That I can verify that when they're on a spacewalk that they're actually up there live. Show me the Earth. You're above the Earth. Point the camera down at the Earth. Nope. What do we get? We get, oh, here's a minute and 8 seconds of HD footage from space. Well, they're up there for 8 hours. Why don't we have 4K footage all the time? This is 2018. 2018, folks. The days of 320, quality video from space should be over. Okay? The days of a 7-second delay to these astronauts in space is over. Okay, I can call 12,000 miles away to some guy in Japan. We can talk with no delay. Okay, it's not a magic trick. Those guys are up in the sky, 250 miles up, so they say. 250 miles. Think of somewhere 250 miles from you. Imagine calling that place and there being a 7-second delay. You'd be like, what the hell? It's 2018, jackasses. Okay, we don't need a delay here anymore. How about the fact that it's on the dark side of Earth? We don't have communication with the ISS because it's on the dark side of Earth. I'm pretty sure you can have communication. We have live TV, no matter dark side, day side, broadside. Don't matter. We could do it from Earth, but they can't do it from the ISS. Sorry, we're switching cameras. Go to the ISS live footage, Ustream, ISS footage. Watch it for a half hour and you will see them interrupt with a blue screen, followed by a screen that says, pardon the interruption, we're switching cameras. Is this 1934? 1934, we need to switch cameras. All right, shut down everything. Get Joe over here. We got to carry this. We bring the cables this way. We got to replug them in over here. We're switching cameras. 2018. Sorry, pardon the interruption. We're currently switching cameras. It's going to take us at least 25 minutes to re-show you the Earth. We're switching frickin' cameras. Switching cameras. What a joke. We're switching cameras. We're on the dark side of Earth. What do you mean you're on the dark side of Earth? How come in every interview I've ever seen you do, every single interview on the ISS, I've never seen it interrupted by the blue screen? So during your interviews, you don't lose connectivity with the Earth. During the interviews, you do just fine at maintaining a solid stream. But on the camera that's on the outside of the craft, the one that's showing the Earth, that one is impossible to show. That one's on the dark side of Earth. That one won't work. Our bad. We're sorry. It's just, what will it take? Globers, what will it take? How many times do you have to see them switch screens on a rocket launch between, well, there's the view from Red's Rhetoric's camera. Yep, something launched. All right, now it's going horizontal. All right, I see that as well. And it's getting really hard to see. It's getting smaller and smaller. It's gone. And on the screen from SpaceX, but up, switch screen. There it is, the cone. The cone's in space. How could that be faked? How could somebody be so smart to simply cut the video when you can't see it from the ground anymore and switch to the fabricated space view? But no, it's believed. Why? Why would they lie to us? Because you believe it. That's why. Because they make money. That's why. And because they think it's funny. They think it's funny and what they've convinced you is true in the world. And I'm starting to think the same thing. It is funny. I'm starting to think that half the world simply knows the space lie. That's all there is to it. The elite know the space lie. And many people who learn the space lie, they go along with it. That's why Jay-Z starts out his song by saying, and they think this is from outer space, and his buddy's just laughing. And he says, but we, millionaires, we are masterminds. That's what they believe, that's what they think, and they're right. They are masterminds because they created the biggest hilarious joke lie of all time, and people still believe it. Not just believe it, but will fight for it. People will fight you if you tell them Mars is fake. They've never seen it. They've never seen Mars or Jupiter. They've seen lights in the sky. Zoom in on it with a telescope, looks like a little round thing, round light in the sky. They will fight you if you say that Mars is fake. They will fight you if you say Jupiter isn't 100 times the size of the Earth. They will fight you and laugh at you if you say that the sun is not 1,000,000 times the size of the Earth. The sun is right above your freaking head. The stars are right above your freaking head. If you think you can see 25 trillion miles, then you need a lot of help. You just need a lot of help. Don't know what else to tell you, but you need some help. And again, I'm willing to admit I was wrong. Show me the truth. Show me Mars. Show me this craft on Mars. Show me this craft in orbit of the moon. Show me. Show me these things, and I will be the first one to admit, guys, I was wrong. Space is real. Space is real. Because what do I have to go off of? All I have to go off of is what I've been shown. What I've been shown is a fraud. Period. So if space is real, then show me the real shit. Show it to me. Show me space travel. Where's these cars that we were told about? Flying cars. I don't know about you guys. Year 2000, we'd have flying cars. Traffic would be gone because you would fly at different levels. Some people fly at 500 feet. Some people fly at 750 feet. Some people at 850 feet. And everybody just cruises along and flies in their flying cars. Where are these things? You know, they've got like life-size drones that you get into, supposedly. That's what they've got. So these are flying cars. This is the space travel of the future. Mark my words, nobody is going to space. They've convinced you of something that you will never experience in your life, and you love it. That's a disgrace to your existence. The only thing that matters is this place. That's all that matters. If once every child is fed, every person on Earth is clothed and housed, then you can go play in your space Star Trek Space Wars world all you want. Until then, I don't think it's possible. I don't think you should be doing it. Wasting money like they waste money. The ISS, $150 billion. I know maybe it doesn't seem like much. 150 billion. Big deal. That's worth the ISS. You really think that that's the truth, huh? The ISS, which has not done a goddamn thing for humanity, but put a little light in the sky for fanboys to go out with their telescope. Well, I filmed the ISS crossing the sun. Congratulations. That must mean space travel exists. Mars exists. Jupiter exists because you filmed a light. Cool. That's awesome. Congratulations. Oh, it feels to go across the sun and the moon. Great. Couldn't have fooled you on that one, huh? It'd be impossible. Must be a craft. Must be going 17,500 miles per hour. And the people that they show you that are in it must be in it. Because nobody could fool you on that one. Nope, that would be too tough to do. Considering we've never seen an astronaut just show the camera of himself, turn the camera out the window, show the Earth. You can verify that it's live. Turn it back on yourself. Nope, never done that. I try and talk to the guy on Twitter all the time that goes, oh, everybody take pictures of the ISS today. Take pictures of your sky because I'm going to take pictures from up here and then we can match them after. And I always tell them, you just talked on Twitter. Send a live video from where you are now. Send the video now. 10 seconds of live video. Send it, jackass. Never. Never once. They won't send it because it would mean that they're up there. No, instead, they have to wait for the high altitude plane to return the images, and then they put those out, and then they tell people that it came from the high. Oh, and then people are so dumb. You know, that must be. It's like Sean Hufford. The Himawari proves the Earth's a ball. How else could you have live footage of clouds on a ball? Well, I don't know. You have high altitude planes that take pictures of clouds that send them down and they're modeled on a ball. Oh boy, how could that possibly be done? It makes much more sense that there's a craft 28,000 miles away in geosynchronous orbit with a picture of the perfect Earth, and we can always see the clouds. It doesn't look like a sphere. It looks like a flat circle. I mean, come on. You people are getting ridiculous. And, you know, I don't have much time to just keep harping on the same thing anymore. I got other things to move on to. I'll just accept the fact of what I know to be true. The truth is, there is nobody going to space. You can't go to space. The longer you let them tell you you can is just the more money they steal from you. And look at the money that people go to look at. I got to go to the Kennedy Space Center and pay my $100 entrance fee to look at all this space stuff that I bought. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. What a joke. Don't know what else to say. Again, I'll leave you with this question. Globers, please tell me in the comment section. Take for you to admit, all right, maybe there's a problem. Okay, how long will that take? When no one's gone anywhere for 10 years? When we haven't seen it, when they can't show a live video camera of their little craft going to the moon? What will it take? They were able to transmit from the craft on the way to the moon in 1969. Do you think technology's come anywhere since 69? Let's think. What things do we have now that we didn't have in 69? Wow. Quite a lot. But we can't go back to the moon. Because it's that technology, you know, it's real expensive and we lost it and it's real expensive to get it back. You gonna accept answers like that? You gonna accept that the 500 people who have ever been to space, there's only 500, these astronauts who can't agree on whether or not we can see stars from space? What is your excuse for that one, globe believers? What is going on when Neil says that the space, intergalactic, what does he call it? Translunar space, the translunar travel between the Earth and the moon. Neil Armstrong says the only visible thing is the Earth and the sun. There's no other stars visible, that there's no planets visible. He says, I think I've heard of a few people seeing planets. I never saw any. So this is a man who for 3 days was in a craft from the Earth to the moon. He had a window, and from that window, he could not see stars. He said it was a velvet black sky. As far as you could see, he could see nothing. You've got that Leroy Chow or Choi who says on the day side of Earth, you cannot see anything. You can look out to space and all you see is the deepest, darkest black that there ever was. Then you get other astronauts that say, oh, even on the day side of Earth, we see a polka dotted sky. Brilliant stars. We see galaxies. We see the Magellanic Clouds. What is the reason for this? Why can't we get the answer right? What is the truth? But guess what? You don't care. None of you globers give a shit as long as your space fantasy is true. As long as you can believe in orbits and you can believe in geometry, because that's reality. What's the geometry of your arm? What's the geometry of your leg? Go ahead and explain to me how we figure out that curvature. No. It's all a lie. They've convinced you that math is reality when it can only describe reality. You cannot just say, well, this little model here works with the sun 93 million miles away. Fantastic. Fantastic. The little model works. It's not reality. The sun is not 93 million miles away. You are not falling backwards almost twice the speed of sound when you watch a sunset. The sun is going down. The sun is moving. The sun is moving away from you, and perspective makes you see it drop. It then reaches the angular resolution of your eye, 0.02 degrees, at which point you can no longer see it. I told you before, the curvature of the Earth, or the horizon, if you want to call it that, is an optical effect proven. Optical, not a physical attribute of the Earth. If you think the horizon is where the Earth starts curving, you are lying to yourself. It is an optical effect. That's why train tracks meet at the horizon, because it's an optical effect. It has nothing to do with where you live. And for the people out there who say they're pilots, I'm a pilot and I know the Earth is round. Oh, have you? Have you ever flown your plane on the side of the ball? You ever flown the plane underneath it? You ever flown the plane at a 45-degree angle? Nope. What have you done? You've gotten up in your plane and you've flown above, on top of the Earth. That's it. Because that's what happens when you live on a plane, on a flat plane of existence. You fly above the Earth. Unless somebody tells you some bullshit and lets you believe it. Well, actually, everybody's at the top of the ball. We're all being pulled equally to the center. Oh, yeah? Show me evidence. That's another thing, Globers. Go ahead and write that in the comments. Show me an example of things pulling to the center. No, you don't get to use your magical space land that I can't verify. You can't say, well, Mars pulls everything to the center and Jupiter pulls gas to the center. The moon pulls things to the center. The sun pulls things to the center. No. I want you to tell me. That's another thing. I never even thought about that. Now I'm thinking about that. The sun's got all this gravity. How is anything leaving the sun? It should be pulled right back into it. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah, that makes no sense. So, now you got me thinking about that one. Anyway, what is one thing that pulls to the center? If you go on the ISS and you drop a bucket of water, will that water join together as a big sphere? No, it won't. Nope, it won't. Shucks. How about if we dump out a bag of Skittles? Dump out a bag of Skittles on the ISS. Will they all join together? Will the gravitational pull of one of the Skittles pull the other ones and it will create a sphere of Skittles? No, it won't. They'll go everywhere. Interesting. What if we take a big bag of dust and drop it in zero gravity? Will it coalesce into one ball of dust? No, it won't. Interesting. What if I put a big gym ball on the ISS and then dump out a bunch of Skittles? Will all the Skittles collect around the gym ball? No, it won't, huh? Interesting. So do things really... Oh, well, Jaron, they squeeze out water out of a little straw on the ISS and it makes a sphere. Yeah, it's called surface tension, and you've just squeezed it out of a little straw. So where is the little straw in your planetary model that squeezed out planetoid masses that then gathered dust and then collision with the Earth, and then the moon came out of it? And where's that? So I could take a big clog of dirt on the ISS, knock it with another rock, and then the rock that gets knocked off of that will collect into a new sphere that will be in orbit of the previous one. Is that what you people think? You've been lied to on the largest level, and I gotta go over the hill. So this has been Jaronism. Be kind to each other. Don't lie, and don't let yourselves be lied to, for God's sakes. Globers, give me your answer. What will it take? 10, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years? Are you gonna die? And you're going to die and let these guys have lied to you for your life? At what point do you simply turn to NASA and say, prove it, jackasses? Or do you not have enough balls? Do you not have enough balls to stand up for yourself and say, you MFers are lying to the world? Nope, you don't have enough balls, because it's easier for you to just sit there in your chair and call other people dumb. You idiot, science. Moron, flat earther, science. Flurfer, science. So easy for you, isn't it? It's easy for you. Well, I wish I had your lack of huevos. I wish I was as big as a pussy as you are, because then I would just do the same thing. I would just tell everybody how smart I was because I believe in orbital mechanics, and sit around my house and think I'm pretty cool. But that's not me. I'm looking for the truth, and I'm going to run over whoever I got to until I find it. So be kind, don't lie, and open up your mind and find your own truth. Don't get it from these dirtbags. Till next time, this has been Jaronism, and I do say peace. About my .318 and how I think that has been used against us or has been hidden from us. And then also the last hour we kind of talk about our current situation, what's going on. Today I just got home from, or I'm getting home, driving home, from checking out 4 different places. 2 in Madera, 1 in Fresno, 1 in Clovis. And you'll hear my whole story about that. I mean, basically what it comes down to is when you remove yourself from the system, like I have attempted to do, you will get burned for it, and we're finding out the hard way. So far, we've been turned down from 5 potential rental places. We've had to apply to each of them, which costs anywhere from, the cheapest was $30 for Miss and I to apply, the most expensive being $40 each, which was $80. And we just keep getting turned down. The reason we're turned down is, of course, we have the number 1, the foreclosure on my house in 2015, which obviously helps no one. But the other reason is because we've gotten rid of all of our credit cards. So we have no credit cards, we've got no vehicle debt, we've got no car payments. And those things are looked at as a negative in this world, because that means we can't get our credit score back up. I have no means, no desire to get it back up. I know what a credit card, what a credit score is. Your credit score is how gullible are you? How willing are you to pay more than something's worth? Because if you buy it with cash and it costs 40 bucks, you pay 40 bucks. You buy it with a credit card and you pay 80 bucks, 100 bucks, 120 bucks, and you pay it off over years, and that's how they trap you in the debt system. So by removing all my credit cards and by removing all my car payments, I have absolutely no credit to speak of. Despite for 2 years we've paid $1,800 a month for the place we live. We've never been a day late, never been a dollar short. If you want to listen to that, you can check out Monday Night Raw from this past Monday. It's still free and will be free for the next 2-3 days until we go live again on Monday. So you can check that show out. During the, it was an interesting show overall, if any of you got a chance to hear it. The last hour, we kind of detailed some of the stuff that's been going on with our search for a home. And in the first hour, it got real interesting. Many of you have heard of Brooks Agnew. He was the head of an expedition, supposedly was going to try to go to the North Pole. Never came to fruition. He is a proponent of the hollow earth theory. And I heard that he was co-hosting the show before mine for the past couple weeks. And so I thought I would ask him on. I figured he was a anti-NASA kind of guy. Anybody who believes in the hollow earth, I'm assuming, accepts the lies that run NASA. But it went interesting. Yeah, definitely tell you to check out that show. By the way, this stream won't be very long. I can only go as long as until I hit the Chaco Pass, is what it's called. The 156 is going to take me up the hills, and then, even though I'm getting closer to satellites, I will lose connection definitely going through those mountains. So probably about 30 minutes from now or so. But yeah, Brooks Agnew came on the show, started talking about satellites, started talking about Mars, started talking about orbits. So real quickly, the show was interesting. So again, go to tfrlive.com and go to On Demand, find the Jeranism Raw page, and you can listen to that show in its entirety. The first hour is Brooks Agnew and myself having a conversation. It went into moon landing and everything else, and even though what's going on, everyone? It's me, Jeranism, back with a live video for you. Can you hear me or not? If you can't hear me, no use in doing the stream. So just tell me if you can hear me. Somebody in the chat say you can hear me. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So I am just driving, and I figured you guys could help me stay awake. And I got some things on my mind anyway, so talk about those. That is the current plan. And you can watch the driving, and I don't know if you can see the moon. The moon is over there in the upper left, a bottom crescent. And the phone is probably too far away for me to see the chat. I can see something. I see Roger from Poland. I can see the chat a little bit. But basically just wanted to talk about some things. So I'm driving on my way home from Fresno, Madera area. Not sure if everyone heard the story. No, I'm probably rolling up the window well. 1 second. This window roll up. There we go. And go. Maybe you can hear me better. So not sure if you heard the story. Many of you probably don't care. Of what's been going on in our lives, but if you want level, and after 4 kilometers is 36 feet high, which makes absolutely no sense. I thought about it the other day, and I realized what I think he was trying to say, but it actually proves that he's never seen it. I think he was trying to say because at 2 miles would be 32 inches. So I think he was trying to say 32 inches, but he made it sound like he sees some tube after 4 kilometers that is 36 feet high. So these are the kind of things I'm talking about with PhD scientists that just don't know their stuff. And I understand his position, or many people's positions that may be in the science field, that see me, what's this punk kid got to say? He's going to tell me I've been lied to. I would understand if I put in years of graduate school and all that to have some kid tell me I'm full of it. Well, I probably wouldn't listen to them either. But you kind of have to plant these seeds, slowly start to get into their heads so that they start looking into these things. He does have the same question when it came to the moon landings. Obviously, he believes we went. How any rational human being can believe that, I'll never know. It simply comes down to the industry that you're in and the friends that you keep. Because if you do any of your own research or your own, and that's the great thing about being human, right? You're able to look at evidence and make your own conclusion. People who think we went to the moon simply have jumped that step. They have not decided to do their own research. They simply are going to believe what they're told, and well, then you're going to believe that we went to the moon. So we talked about that a little bit, but he also agrees that it makes absolutely no sense that it's been 50 years, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about real quick. And again, yeah, check out that Jeranism Raw. It's a good show. The second half, we kind of talk a little bit of the curvature formula, a little bit of the guy's got a PhD and is far more versed in space than I. You know, there were some things that stuck out to me about that conversation. Again, check it out in its entirety, but one of those things was, in the conversation, I was asking him about the North and South Pole and why are those two locations vastly different, with one of them being a on-again, off-again yearly melting cycle, that is the North Pole, the other one being a perpetual abyss, a perpetual, what was that? I don't know. A perpetual abyss, a kind of never-ending frozen tundra. And his excuse for that was, well, of course, the sun is very much closer to the north during their summer than it is to the south. And I said, no, Brooks, it's the other way around. It's actually closer to the south than it is to the north, which is why I'm asking the question. His answer to that was, oh yeah, that's what I meant, which of course makes no sense, because then it defeats his argument. So there was a few of those. Tried to get him to hopefully contact me with some of these things that he says exists. He says he's got access to some robot of some type that's on Mars, that he can just flip the switch on and he can observe the stars from Mars. It's got some camera on it or something. So I told him, well, find out how I can see that. I don't need to go there. You can show a camera shot of it. Just show me what you're talking about. But it's an interesting conversation, to say the least. He also talks about knowing that the Earth is curved because he saw some tube that stretches for 4 kilometers, and the tube starts out at ground